Bride. I am a freshman at St. John's University. I'm a first year student studying bio in a pre-med program. Um, I'm doing 3 years here at St. John's and then 4 years at NYIT's College of Medicine, getting a DO degree. And so that's my journey for now. And then so diving into my college supplements for my essays, I remember I had a so in high school, I did a lot of extracurriculars. I did a lot of like programs. I worked for a medical office. I shadowed I shadowed a nurse my junior year. I did um community service, working with special needs kids and working soup kitchens and stuff like that. I did all of that leading into my summer of junior year and senior year. And so that kind of all helped me, get into where I am now within my program and my college. And on top of that, I also took a lot of, rigorous courses within high school, like a bunch of AP classes. I took a few medical related classes. And so that all led me to where I am now.
And then what were some of the questions that you remember answering?
I'm going to fix my audio, but give me specific questions they asked you. Supplemental, besides
Okay,
your basics.
so first of all, they asked me why, of course, like why I wanted to be part of their program. That was one of the questions. They asked me like what drove me to do what drove me to where I am to now. What shaped me as a person. What like why do I belong in their specific program and not somewhere else? And I believe, I believe those are the two supplements I wrote for my admission.
And what was your response?
So I said, so basically, they asked me why I wanted to become a DO through them, and I wrote it's because my mother, she's a nurse. So growing up, I always heard stories of her at work and like medicine based stories and patient stories and stuff like that. And I think that honestly, like that kind of excited me for the medical field. And then also when I was in fourth grade, I needed to get an endoscopy done for some stomach issues I was experiencing. And I think so I had to get anesthesia done. And after that experience, like I got really inspired to do medicine, specifically anesthesia. So
So you used a personal anecdote.
Yes.
Go ahead. So can you relate? What was your personal anecdote and how did that connect to your college essay supplements?
Right.
Because that's what we're going to focus on today.
Right.
How did your personal anecdote connect to your college essay supplements? Go ahead.
Right. So the question was why medicine and why with them. So again, I said that because I went through like a medical experience with the endoscopy and the stomach issues, being in the hospital, experiencing all of that, it kind of inspired me seeing the nurses, seeing the team I had, specifically the anesthesiologist that I had for my endoscopy. It was very like inspiring to me. I was like, wow, like, this is very cool. Something I would for sure look into one day. And so I think that kind of pushed me towards medicine. And also the fact that my mother's a nurse, it kind of all tied into that. So like, I was always like
So
in
you
the
talked
medical
about your
field.
mother, you talked about your
Yes.
family, you talked about
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. And then why specifically at their school, I wrote it's because of just honestly it was because of accessibility because I live here in New York, and so I wrote like this, like I said that this program is close to home, how like I want how the program is very accessible near me, and how it just fits in well with my plans for the future. And also I talked about how there aren't as many DO programs as there are MD, and so this is one of them, and it's kind of it checks off all the boxes I was looking for, which is why I wanted to go specifically to that. Why I wanted to be part of their specific program.
So can you just give your best advice possible? How would you respond? What's your advice for the college essays? Very specifically for the supplements. What is it with the supplements that you feel is very important to
I
put
think
into all
something that's very
supplemental
important
essays?
is just put in a very personal story, because if you're gonna put in something very like off the top of your head that doesn't really connect, they're not gonna really see what they need to see you. They need to get a glimpse of who you are and if you're not gonna relate something about yourself and a personal experience, it's hard to do that. So if you show like if you show them like you're like you're a real person, that you like that you really went through this and you really want you want this because of that, like they're more inclined to accept you and want you in their program, as opposed to somebody who they don't really know much personal stuff about.
So I just want to do like a share screen. I just want to see like hypothetical, what kind of answers do you think are the best answers for these questions? So I'm going to take a look at it right now with you. Hold on.
Okay.
I think I'm looking correctly, right? Good. No, I don't need this. Okay. All right. So I'm taking a look at the supplements right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? So Brown University has 3 essays. So everyone, this is what we're going to take a look at. Brown University has 3 essays. So I just want to know like your best advice. And if you could just show head and shoulders, please, Jessica. I only
Yeah.
see your head. Yeah, good. All right. So Brown University has 3. So let's take a quick look. So it says here, and I'm going to make it larger so that you see it, everybody, very big. I love it. I like making all the fonts like huge. Okay, good. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Hold on. Until it's like gigantic, I'm not satisfied. So, okay, good. Okay, good. I guess we're good here. All right, so it says here, Brown University has 3 essays, right? And it says here, Brown has an open curriculum, so you have to just know that. Like when you're researching the schools, obviously you have to know that. While also diving deeply into academic pursuits, it says here, any academic interest that excites you. So what would you put? Because again, you're a pre, so we're gonna use a
Right.
pre-med example today, but it could be any example
Right.
is good. I'm
So
just
okay.
using this one
So
for today.
right. So I think you should, one second, let me just read it again. Okay, so I think if they're asking you about what academic interests excite you, I think definitely related to the major that you want to get into. So like again, so let's say if you're doing pre-med, talk about like talk about like lab classes, or like general science-based classes, like human interaction classes. Those are all big foundations of medicine. Or if you want to go into like a business major, talk about how you like econ classes or finance classes, like kind of related to what you want to do at that
And
college.
then you need to connect, I just want to add, you need to connect Brown University to how you are going to be a great student at Brown. So you must research Brown. This is a very
Right.
obvious thing that many people forget to do. You need to research the school. This is very important. So the school that you're at right now, Jessica, is the St. John's University. What's the full name of the program that you're in? I just want everyone, because some people like have
So
never even heard about it.
yeah, it's a fairly new program. So it's the St. John's University, NYIT DO pathway program.
So it's the St. John's University. Everyone pay attention to this because this has 10,000 letters. Is everybody listening? So it's the St. John's University. So you're in Queens most of the time, right?
Yes, yes.
And then it's connected to NYIT.
So it's more like, so it's 3 years here at St. John's, and then the next 4 years at NYIT's med school in Deep Long Island.
So you're going to be at St. John's for 3 years. So you went to
Yes.
college, right? You did 4 years high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then from after 4 years high school, you went to the NYIT program. So you applied into a dual degree, correct?
Yes, yes.
And now
With
you're
major.
at St. John's University. And like, what are some of the names of the classes you're taking right now?
Sorry, can you repeat that? It broke off.
What are the names of some of the classes?
Oh, okay. So currently I'm in biology 1, general chemistry, public speaking, first year writing, and um uh within literature in a global context.
Okay.
And so with a bio major, there's a lot of you have to take a lot of core requisite classes for the college in particular, but also because I'm in that program, NYT, they keep their students on a very strict schedule of what classes they could take which semester and which year of college. So for example, my other friends in the bio major, they're taking biostats right now on top of all their other classes, but I'm taking that next year because that's just the way the program structures it.
Got it.
But yeah, so the next semester I'm going to be taking a couple, a couple other classes. So, for example, like next semester I'm taking Bio 2000, Chemistry 2000, and then I'm going to be taking a theology, physiology, and there was one more, but I'm like blanking right now. but it's another core requisite. And then after this first year, then I'm going to take heavier science classes.
So you're gonna do 3 years at St. John's, and then you're gonna
Yeah,
go to NYIT Medical School. That's in Long
yeah,
Island, right?
yeah, yeah,
So you'll be at the NYIT campus for 3 years,
yeah.
right?
In
So
4 years,
in,
4 years.
you're at St. John's for 4 years or three
No,
years?
no. St. John's I'm doing 3 years, and then NYT I'm doing 4 years.
So
My
St. John's, you're doing 3 years, but you're gonna get a 4-year bachelor's degree.
Yes, because
What's
the
the
fourth
name? So everybody just pay attention. I want to quickly go over this. What's the name of your bachelor degree at St. John's University?
bio major, bio degree.
So you're gonna get like a bachelor's of science and biology. Is that
Yeah,
it's like technically, is that what it's called? Okay.
yeah. And then
Um,
so how it works is so basically because I'm doing 3 years at St. John's as an undergrad, my my first year of NYIT, like my first year of med school, will be considered my fourth year of St. John's. So it's kind of combined.
but and then you're going to be physically in this program. So you're in St. John's University, NYIT, and what is osteopathic medicine? Like, what does that even mean?
Okay, yeah.
Just
So okay,
understand
so
what that is.
right. So everyone knows about the typical MD that the doctors have. That so the difference between MD and DO is just their approach to medicine. So MD is more of like it's more of a drug type of way of healing, while doctor of osteopathy, it's osteopathic medicine is more of a holistic treatment. It's more like natural remedies and like think of chiropractors. So how they relieve pain is through like cracking and like massages and stuff like that. It's a similar idea how we treat holistically as opposed to medicinally and with drugs.
So minimum average is 90. What was your school average in the end?
94.
And then it was test optional. So did you submit scores or no?
No, so my when I applied last year, it wasn't optional back then. So back then, in order to get into this program, you needed a 1290. But this is at New York Tech. St. John's was a little bit different. It was almost the same thing. It was like based off their requirements, but just a little bit harder. For
Okay.
us, we needed I believe a 12. I forget. I believe it was 1290 or 1320. We needed for no, it was 13, sorry, it was 1320 for St. John's for the program, and then you needed a 92 average, and then you need to have
And
supplements and
then
stuff like that.
so in terms of the supplements for this one program, you had to write a 350-word essay on your desire to work in the field of osteopathic medicine. So what
Yes.
was your essay about? What did you write about?
Again, so I kind of tied back, the whole thing with like my personal medical experience and my mother. I kind of tied that into like I tied that into why I wanted like, that was the reason why I wanted to work in the healthcare field specifically as a doctor.
Did you apply early action or did you apply regular into this program?
Um, I believe because I applied through St. John's, I did early action, but you could my high school advisor recommended me to do early just to kind of get
Yeah.
just for them to see you first and get a better shot at getting in. But you
Got it.
could do both. But I think it's better to do early action.
You did. So
Yeah.
basically, after you complete your baccalaureate preparation for the degree in 3 years, you may be admitted directly into the DO program. So you really
Mhm.
are applying into medical school from high school. And so it's one main essay and one supplement, right? Like you had to write one supplement and then you had to do an interview, right?
So the interview, I believe my year was waived for some reason. They didn't require an interview for us.
Okay, fine. With that being said, no, this is very helpful. So let me go back now that I'm looking at the common application. So
Mhm.
here it says, let's go to question 2. Students entering Brown often find making their home in College Hill naturally invites reflection, where they came from. Share how an aspect of your growing up inspired or challenged you. What unique contributions might this allow you to make the Brown community? How will you help? So, all right, what kind of answers would you highly recommend would be a great answer for this?
Okay, so again, so I use a story. I think stories are just the best way to connect them to
Anecdote. So
you.
you
Yeah,
are
an
all about
anecdote.
like anecdote.
I am, yes. I'm like a firm
Okay.
believer in those. I feel like those really suck. I think those really draw them into seeing your personal side and seeing you as like a person, not as another application on their table. So so
You would write what? What would your perfect model be for this?
okay, so So I remember, I believe I had a similar one also for St. John's for that, just for the college itself before I did the supplement for the program. And then basically I wrote how, so I think I'm pretty sure I gave a story so I used to be like I used to be a competitive gymnast when I was in middle school. And then right when the peak of COVID hit, I injured myself at home doing practicing a flip. And after that, my knee was like completely like I struggled with knee problems for the next 4 years of high school, all due to that one little incident of that, you know, flip of landing incorrectly. So I remember that affected me a lot just because I remember I used to go to physical therapy twice a week at 7 a.m. before my classes. And I remember I used to always like, I remember like it was like a big, like it kind of like it defined me in a way. Like I feel like after that, like, I feel like I became known as the girl who used to come to school late with like breakfast for everybody. Like, I would come to class with like breakfast for everybody. And like that's kind of like that kind of like highlighted me in high school. And so I kind of connected that to like how that kind of changed me to like how the injury itself changed my perception on like, you know, of like health and like kind of just like I became more appreciative of those body of like my body that before, you know, it was like again because I was struggling with knee problems for so long that it changed me. Like I became more grateful for the other parts of my body that were working out were not injured. And then like that kind of the whole breakfast thing kind of like made me who I was in high school. So I kind of learned I learned, you know, people like, you know, I think I learned a lot based off people from that, like people who are just your friends just to get stuff from you, or versus like real friends. And that kind of all shaped me to who I am today. And so I kind of gave a story about that, and you know, put that all together into how that structured me as a person and where I
I
am
mean,
now.
whatever you did worked, because how many kids are in the program you're in right now?
Five, five.
So there are only 5 students in the entire St. John's University in this highly competitive program that you got into.
Mm,
I mean, I'm very impressed. You're only one of 5 in this program.
yeah. When I
It's
heard the news, I was like, when I heard the news, I got in, I was like jumping from up and down the walls.
Do you
It was
know who the
very
other
exciting.
4 are?
So I know one of them. She's in my chemistry lab, but
Where they go to high
otherwise,
school, do you know or you don't know?
the girl that I know, I believe she went to Forest Hills High School.
Yay! Everybody, you hear that? Forest Hills. Woot woot.
Ooh.
That's the whole group today. That's good. All right,
Yeah.
so okay, next. Brown students care deeply about work ethics. Students find contentment, satisfaction, daily interactions. What brings you joy? So what would you say is the perfect model answer for this? What brings you joy?
So I think there's two ways you can go about this. You can give them the answer that they want, or you can be your pure authentic self. So like what do I mean by that? You can say like, oh, like what brings me pure joy is, you know, studying all day and, you know, being this like perfect model student, and you know, who doesn't, you know, who eats sleeps and reads textbooks all day long. You can say that and just make it sound very intelligent. Or you can make it sound like you're again a person. Tell them like, yes, like, you know, like I love spending time with my family members. My friends are very dear to me. You know, I love sightseeing. I love hiking. You know, you know, like for example, or you can say like cooking is a big part of me. I enjoy doing that on my free time. It's opened up so many doors for me. I've met many people through like for me, for example, like I would say like because this is true. So I love cooking, right? So I've made a lot of friends just by like talking about like in classes. They'll be like, "Oh, guys, like, what are some of your hobbies?" I'm like, "Oh, look, I like cooking. I like trying out new recipes." People be like, "Oh my God, me too." And I'm like, "Oh, nice. Like, let's hang out. Let's like go out for a meal. Let's cook for each other." Like, it's a very good way to like open up doors. And so you could say you know, like this hobby that I like opened up many doors to me and doors for me, and you know, it's kind of just like you can like pitch that together and write that. Because again, it shows you, not another application on the desk.
So here it says, what 3 words best describe you? What would you put?
Oh, I remember I had this exact question on mine. I said hardworking. I remember I said hardworking, passionate, and I believe I said caring. I remember I had this exact question for mine.
I would say diligent, meticulous.
Yeah.
Um,
course you can like, you can always like build it up, make it sound a little bit more.
Caring is good because like for the healthcare profession,
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of,
and
again, so I try
even
to like
like
tie in that.
perfectionist, like someone who's a perfectionist, like you really,
Yeah,
I would definitely make it like all positive wording. All
of
right,
course.
next.
Yeah, not, yeah, don't
And
do
then
something.
I'll try to make it bigger so everyone can see. What is your most meaningful extracurricular commitment? What do you want us to know about you?
So again, so for me in high school, I did that. I did that the community service with those special needs kids. I think that for me, that was like a really that if I were doing this right now, I would say that, just because like again, like it ties. It shows that it shows that your humanity. It shows that you care, and like it shows that it has a tie to medicine. Like it kind of all pulls it together, ropes it in.
If you could teach a class on anything, whether academic or otherwise, what would it be?
Um, I would say something. I would say probably on how to be the very best version of yourself. So I think that again that shows like that you are aware of like yourself and what you're doing in your life. And I think it's like a really good thing to do. A really good class you can teach.
In one sentence, why Brown?
So this I would say for this, do a little bit of research. Feel like I remember specifically for my college, I wrote down how so St. John's they have a thing called Midnight Run, where students go to the city at midnight and they distribute meals to the homeless. So like so I would say do some research and tie it into your one sentence. You could say let's say if the prompt was why St. John's, I would say um I believe something like St. John's is a school for me to cater personally to me because I care, I'm very passionate about people, humanity, and specifically, I'm sure I can grow in this by participating in the Midnight Run program, for
How
example.
did you learn about Midnight Run? I live 10 minutes away from St. John's and I've never heard of this midnight food distribution in my entire life. Like, how did you even know about something like this? It's like so
I
specific.
honestly, I just like I researched their website. I went into their programs. I went into what they do. And I just kind of like I kept reading. I'm like, oh wow, this seems very cool. So it's all like there. You just gotta like put in the time. Just like look into it and research.
So you put this hyper specific midnight run that like
Hmm.
it's very like ad hoc, it's hard to find, and it's like somewhere hidden in the website.
And yeah, and that shows like it shows that you care and that you did put in the research into this.
So Brown has a Pliny program, which is also similar to what you're doing, which is in addition to the 3 essays. So here's what they have. The Pliny program is similar. It's like a program where you're obviously you're in high school and you apply, you can get into med school. So
Oh,
here is
cool.
the first year question. Committing to a future career as a physician while in high school requires care and consideration and self-reflection. Explain your personal motivation to pursue a career in medicine. Why is the program in liberal medicine education the best? And what are what are your professional goals? I mean,
Okay,
you're
yeah.
only
So
17 when you're doing this. So like, how
right.
do
So
you
you
know what kind of answer to put at 17 years old? Like, how are you going to respond to something? Like, I'm
okay, so
only
that's
16
why
years old.
that's why I believe people who are applying to all these like pre-med programs, while their senior year of high school, I think so I feel like so I think if you're applying to these programs, you have to have passion from like within. It can't just be that you're doing it just to like just because it sounds nice. I think it has to come from a place inside that we can write like a real response that comes from your heart. Um, so like again, like I would give like an anecdote about why medicine, and then I would tie in something about the med program specifically at Brown. Again, do some research, tie it in, and say and mention how like for example for me my thing would have been like I would have said how because of the anesthesia that I received before my endoscopy that inspired me, that fueled my passion for medicine, and then that's like fueling me, and that's like what's like making me want to become an anesthesiologist someday. That way, that ties in the question of like, what are your professional goals? There you go. Like the story tied into the angle tied into to your professional goal. Like something that like kind of again ties everything in, which is why passion is so important when it comes to pre-med specifically and these programs.
And you obviously have to research the program. I mean,
Of
I
course,
think the best advice here, I heard this on Shark Tank that Barbara Corcoran, she goes fake it till you make it. And I thought that
take
was
it to
really funny.
me.
But like the truth is like you really don't know when you're 17 years old that like this is your program and this is what you want to do. And also you're applying to 20 different colleges. So like there's no
That's true.
way.
that you can say, I know for sure Brown is the only program for me and it's so perfect for me, because you have no idea if you're going to get in. 95%
Right.
of the kids don't get in. So the reality is, I think we're going to go with Barbara Corcoran, where she's like, fake it till you make
Yeah,
it,
you just,
because you just
yeah,
have to put it
it's just gotta
together.
really,
Like, you don't know. I mean, how
yeah,
can you
for sure.
possibly answer this at 17? Like, I know for a fact I'm doing this. So I think with these essays, you have to like exaggerate a little bit and embellish a little bit and like,
Exaggerate for sure. Exaggerate and like again, research. I'm saying research is the best thing you can do because it shows like, if you see that like if you see that you're looking into their program, that's all they want to know is that you actually care. That there's
healthcare
like
is constantly changing. It is affected by racial and social inequities, economics, politics, technology, and more. Respond to one of the following prompts, 250 words. How will you, as a future physician, make a positive impact? All right, go.
so you can tie in so okay, so because it's like racial and social inequities, you can tie in you can say like like a lot of times let's say hospitals, right? They see a homeless person walks into their ER, for example. Again, healthcare is not declined, but there for sure is a discrepancy between people who are paying who have insurance and who are paying versus those who are uninsured, such as the homeless. You can say like me as a future physician, I will strive to always treat all patients with the same level of like
Dignity,
care and
dignity
respect.
and
And
respect. Yeah.
yes, yeah, so something like that always works.
How has your personal background uniquely shaped your perspective?
So again, I would tie in the story of like I would tie in my personal story of medicine and my mother and my my stomach issues and just kind of tie it all in.
So basically, you're going to use, so just to like recap, you would use
Yeah.
personal anecdotes. You
Hmm.
would definitely talk about your mother. You would talk about your mother who happens to be a healthcare professional. So you would include everything. Like sometimes there are people who are students that are like, I don't want to talk about my mom or my dad. It's like nepotism. It's like I like because they're in healthcare, it's going to give me an advantage and I don't want them to know. Like a lot of times the students are afraid, like if their mom is a lawyer, to put on the application, like I interned at my mother's law firm for like,
Right. And that's totally understandable, but at the same time, I think take what you can get. Like if your mother, for example, with the lawyer one, if your mother's a lawyer, I think the more so you should write that down because it shows like again it shows a personal time, and if you work there, that shows experience, that shows that like that this is like a deeply embedded thing that you want to do, that you grew up with. Like it shows you that you really do care and you want to do it. Like
yeah.
I think if their concern is nepotism, take it.
So definitely put in mom, put in dad, put all that
Yeah, for
information,
sure.
you have it, and whatever
Hmm.
you can to connect you. All right, next supplement. One essay is required for applicants into the Brown dual degree program, in addition to 3 essays that are required for all first-year applicants. The Brown dual degree program draws on complementary Rhode Island School of Design, provides students with opportunity to explore diverse spheres of creative inquiry. Oh my God, what a long question. The culmination of students' 5-year program is a
Wow.
capstone project that relates, and this is a lot of words, and integrates content, approaches, and methods from 2 distinct learning experiences, considering your understanding of the academic programs at Brown. So again, you need to research this. And RISD, which you probably never heard of, but you have to research it. Describe why and how the specific blend of RISD, experimental, immersive. Whoever wrote this sentence does not want you to inhale. Describe how and why the specific blend of RISD's experimental, immersive, combined, studio and liberal arts program. I can't believe I'm reading this, is so long. And Brown's wide-ranging courses and curricula could constitute, they need an English teacher to look at this question, could constitute do you believe this is the question? An optimal undergraduate education for you. Additionally, there's more. This was
I
not
can't
enough.
believe it's going
Five
on still.
lines was not enough. Additionally, how might your academic, artistic, and they missed the Oxford comma, how might your academic, artistic, and personal experiences contribute to the dual degree community? Oh my God, 650 words. So this is like this is like a personal statement and interdisciplinary work. So right off the bat, top tips that you would give for this response. Number one, research the school. Number two,
Yes,
from here, what are you going to say?
honestly,
I mean,
research,
this is
research,
depth. You
research.
need to research the school. You need,
This is the Barbara Palvin fake it till you make it. There's no other way to put
this
it.
question is you need to, I want to honestly, I think 8 to 10 hours of researching the website. I think that's right. This is not like a 1 hour research. This is
No,
eight
definitely
to
not.
10 hours of you researching the
This is
website,
like a deep dive into their.
understanding this program, this RISD, you better know inside out. Then you need to talk about your own academic, artistic, and personal experiences. How would you answer? Oh my God, I can't even look at this question. Additionally, how might your academic, artistic, and personal experiences contribute to the dual degree community and its commitment to interdisciplinary work? So go ahead. So as you were saying, how would you recommend a heavy, proper response to this?
So first off, again, be ready to back up everything you say with research about the program in the school. Talk about what you did in high school because again, it asks about like artistic and this and that. So talk about things you did in high school, classes you took, triggers that pertain to this type of stuff. Kind of really like add put those all in and make it and connect it all together because that's what they're asking. They're asking like they're asking how these experiences contribute to the community, to the dual degree community, and it's
So like
disciplinary work.
3 out of 650 words, you should do 350 researching Brown, 325. So out of 650 words, 325 are going to be about the Brown program. And then the other 325 will be about you. So
Yeah,
this piece additionally is where you like are now dividing your answers.
right. Yeah, for sure.
Uh, Dartmouth, 100 words or fewer. What aspects of the college academic program, campus attract your interest? How is Dartmouth a good fit for you? So 50 words here and then 50 words here. But again, can you go over how would this work, please, in terms of answers? What is the model? Jessica,
Right. So
go.
again, right. So again, I would say again, research because it asks how it asks specifically about the college's programs, community, and environment. So you put that in. So you could say like if let's say if this is the same question about St. John's, I would say St. John's is I would bring in a different I would bring in like a different program that or a different activity that interests me. I'd say okay, so let's say and the program of students working at soup kitchens that will help that interests me now, and I'm sure as I go to college it'll interest me even further now that I'm going to be older and I'll have more chances to do so if it's run through the college itself. So yeah, that it's going to shape you into a better person, and it's kind of talk about that.
Required of all applicants, respond to one of the prompts in 200 words or fewer. I hope everyone understands this is not like a one night project. This is not like, oh, let
Yeah,
me
definitely
dedicate
not.
like, oh, let me like spend Christmas a week doing my college application. Like this stuff is no joke. Like this one question that we looked at for Brown, this one question might take you 7 days just to like work on your answer. Um, we do help at Kweller Prep. We offer expert college application and essay editing advice. Like we do help very much here. But I just want you to know, I mean, we start all the way in like June, July after 11th grade. So at Kweller, but I mean, I just want to, obviously communicate the time commitment. This one question could be very likely a 5 to 7 day response. So don't take something like this, like, oh, I'm just gonna wing it. And don't think that the supplements are no big deal either, because if they don't
They
see the
play a huge
research the
role.
school, they do, right? Like this, the main
Huge.
essay goes everywhere, but supplements are very specific to the school.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Um, there's a Quaker saying, let your life speak. Describe the environments in which you were raised in. There is a Quaker saying, so I guess Quaker is when you are a Dartmouth student, you're called a Quaker. A quacker. No, I'm kidding. But basically, this is important because like NYU has the purple color and the NYU mascot is whatever the NYU symbol is the torch. I went to NYU, you would think I would know the mascot. St. John's has a mascot. So basically this one's a Quaker saying. So they said here, there's a Quaker saying,
Let your life speak. Describe the environment in which you were raised, the impact it had on the person you are today. How would you
Right.
respond?
So I would say again, this is asking for like the environment and like how you're raised. So again, pull something deep from your closet and like think about like again something personal, an anecdote. Like say like describe. So you could say like I grew up in a very loving, caring environment, and that kind of seeing how my parents treated each other, seeing how they treated us kids. It kind of it showed like a I would that showed me how people should interact with each other, you know, with one another on a daily. It raised me to be like a very caring, very
So
soft
even
person.
if, I just want to like put this out there, even if your household was highly dysfunctional and it had like an absentee parent and it had a no child support from another one, even if your family was like the most entertaining TV show on Jerry Springer, like beating each other up on national television. Even if this is your family, this space is for you to say that you have become a better person coming from this kind of family.
Yeah,
So just, this is not like a therapy session. Like you have close friends for that and you have professional therapists for that. This question, even if your family is the Jerry Springer family that beats each other up on national television and rips shirts off each other's bodies, even if this is your family, in this response, it's very important to talk about the positive impact. So I
yeah,
would say, like here, where it says impact, what is the positive impact you get out of your family, no matter what your family dynamic is like? You don't even necessarily have to talk about your immediate family. Like you could even talk about like an aunt or like someone else who you feel like did a great job raising you. So with this type of question, what you should not do is talk about nonstop negative, like I hate my parents, they're terrible people, my dad, I don't even know his name. And then, but what's the positive impact? Well, being the son in the house, I learned to, help out my mom at a young age. So when I was 13 years old, I took a job. When I was 14, I became a cashier. When I was 15, I started giving my mom like $100 a month to help offset bills. I became so mature. I'm not the typical 16-year-old or 17-year-old applying to college now. I'm a very mature version of 17. I'm probably closer to like a 40-year-old because I've learned how to manage bills. Um, I think this response, like whatever positive you can say, do it. Um, it's very easy to be like very negative in the college application, but like it's not the right space for it. Like whatever issues you have with your brother, with your sister, with your half brother, with your half sister, with your dad's new wife's daughters, I mean, whatever you have going on in your household, this is not the space to talk about negative. This is the space for you, like at the end of the day, the college wants to see why you are going to be a positive contribution to their school. So it's really important that you are constantly focusing on what makes your impact a positive impact. I don't know, Jessica, if you want to
definitely.
add anything to that.
No, I 100% agree with you because like I also think about it like logically. Why would it, just like and again like why would if a college has two applicants, it has one who has like who's turned all their bad experiences
Into
you know
good.
into good versus one who just fucks with that and just kind of like doesn't they would accept the one who has done something good with it because it's always good to show growth, especially in these college supplements because it shows your personality, your humanity, you as a person.
So I had a student who was like, I want to write about my bulimia, which she had an eating disorder. So I told her, I said, well, you can write about it, but 10% of the essay should be about the bulimia itself.
Yeah,
90% of the essay should be how you overcame this unbelievable psychological mental hardship. For example, did you form a student club? Did you speak to therapists? Did you help other bulimics? Did you help other people who had extraordinary, hardship during what is really like an eating disorder and such a hard time, self-image? Did you do anything to help other women improve their self-image? So basically, it's not that you like had a hardship. It's like, what did you do about the hardship to make it
Right.
positive? It's very easy to write a negative essay like nonstop and then not explain how you overcame the hardship, how you overcame the obstacle. Like, no matter what happens, everyone's going to want to know, how did you overcome a hardship? What steps did you take to overcome your hardship? What did you do to make a hard situation like a positive outcome in the end? What did you do? Did you research? Are you like, are you someone who's going to dedicate your career to like food and nutrition and self-image and like empowerment of like young women struggling, or whatever, like men? But I'm just saying, like, what are you doing about it? So it's not like you have an issue, like, what are you doing about it? All right, here's the next question. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Introduce yourself. So how do you introduce yourself?
So I mean, honestly, I think this quote also, it's in general. I think this quote is I think this quote is great in general because like if you think about it, it's true. Like like you yourself, the best version of you. Like everyone is unique. Be the best version of yourself that you can be, and everything else will fall into line. And so I would say, that just like kind of like delve into like how you are unique and how like, what makes you you. It's not like it's not gonna be the like what makes you is not it's not like this it's not a clothing that you wear. It's about like it's about like what you do, you are, what you represent, like what you've done with what you have. It's kind of again it's like delve into like your uniqueness and why you are you, and kind of just like delve into that.
Okay, so then required of all applicants, 250. What excites you? So, okay, what excites you?
So here it's like either you could go into the medicine aspect, personal, or you can do a little bit of both. Show them both that you're like, what excites you. What excites me is learning about. Oh, sorry. What excites me? What excites me is getting up every day and going, or on my free time going and like helping people out. Like that like whenever I go help people out, it makes me feel a sense of completion and a sense of like happiness, and it's kind of something like that, like tied into like a little bit of medicine and also a little bit of personal. That way they have a good mix of both.
Labor leaders, civil rights activist, Dolores Huerta. So look up who that is. Like, don't just like read about someone and not. A life of purpose. We must use our lives to make the world a better place to live in, not just to acquire things. That is what we are put on this earth for. How do you hope to make an impact? What do you hope to do to make an impact?
So if you guys remember, they asked a question earlier in the supplement. They asked about like what would you be bringing to the healthcare, for racial inequities and all that. You can tie that again into here, kind of cross relate, and just kind of delve in, dive into more of that idea and just expand on it. Because again, they like to see that people care, and they like when people make connections from like point A to point B.
So let's keep going. Oh, the places you'll go, Dr. Seuss. Wow, this guy's back. Uh, Lots of change going on this week. Hello, Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you'll go invites you to a wonder and think, imagine your anticipated academic major. How does that course of study sync with Dr. Seuss's advice? Dr. Seuss has returned. Okay. All right, let's go. So which school is this? This is Dartmouth. Okay. So basically, how would you align yourself with this question? The places you'll go.
Right. So again, if this is for the medical program with Brown and Dartmouth or whatever it is, you say you say like you talk about where you see yourself in, let's say, X number of years, or with your anticipated major, which is, let's say, biomedical sciences or biology. Just talk about that, and where you think, like what you see yourself doing in that college in general, with all related to that major, healthcare.
So I want to just remind you, like, your anticipated major, like, you really cannot be undecided. Like, you have to have an idea. By the way, it's very difficult to go into college undecided. So I don't really want to like spend time on it. We're so tight with time right now, but it's very hard to answer college essay supplements when you have no idea what you want to study in school. And colleges will take your money, and then you don't even have to pick a major for 3 years, and then you won't be able to get any of your prerequisite classes or the classes you need to actually graduate because you never like had a major. So I'm very against going to college and having no major. Like, you need to have some kind of plan when you're going. You need to have a vision. With that being said, it's
100%.
it's impossible. I mean, Jessica, unless you know people, like, it's really impossible to
No, no,
go
no. I agree. I have
outside.
like no, I 100% agree. My when I'm like I have a close friend right now. So in high school, I'll be honest, he didn't really apply himself as much as he should have, and so he wants to go into business, but because he didn't apply himself well enough in high school, he got into St. John's College, but he did not get into the business major. So for his first semester, he's doing undecided. And so right now, his goal is to pick up his grades and just keep like a really high average. That way, he can apply for business for his second semester. And I'll be very honest. Like right now, his first semester is it's almost a waste.
But he's going to
Like
spend 5 years getting a 4-year degree. So you,
yeah, and it's a very big
Jessica,
waste. And
everybody, I hope you appreciate this. Look at what I brought you today. Look at what I brought you. Jessica is going to get a 4-year degree, but she's going to finish in 3 years. So in 36 months, you're done with a 4-year degree, which is usually 48 months. Your friend who's going undecided is going to be probably 5 years. Many people
yeah,
go 5 years and they get a 4-year degree in five. Jessica, who's our guest speaker today, is going to get a 4-year degree in 3 years. So we're kind of like done with time. I just want to like wrap up. So can you go over what are the key what are the key things you want people to get out of these like supplements?
right. So the key point is, of course, again, um, personal stories. Person and analysts are your best friends when it comes to supplements because again, they want to see you. They don't want to see another, another applicant. They don't want to see some like AI. They want to see why you should go into their college, not some random. Like they want to see what about you will benefit their college and make it a better place for the other students. So again, always time personal stories. Always do your research on the colleges, especially the programs, what they offer, what the college is about, and again, tie that into your essay wherever you can, because it's just something you really do care about their college, and that you're making your like that this isn't some generic essay that you're sending to every single college. It's like a little personal part, so they're gonna really appreciate that. I feel.
Here they have um, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression. So a lot of people think that this is only if you're like transgender, or I just want to tell you there's nothing you can totally respond to a question like this speaking about how you're a strong woman or a strong man. And I mean, I'm just letting you know, like, you can really say like this is my role, you know. So just remember that like this is actually something where you can give a very strong response. Um, Circumstances, how is your experience? Yeah, so basically, okay, let's look at an Emory one, then we're done. What are your academic interests? We have this. Which book, character, song seems made for you? This is so cute. Reflect on
Yeah.
a personal experience where you expanded cultural awareness. This is cute. Share how you might personally contribute to the mission, service of humanity. Strong commitment to building community. I want to just say thank you, everyone, to Jessica. I'm going to unmute everyone so that we can say thank you. So can we type? Let me hold on. Can we type thank you? Where's my chat? Ugh, I can never find anything. It's so funny. All right, everybody, can we say thank you? Thank you. All right, good. So
Of
everybody, let's
course.
say thank you to Jessica for being in a highly competitive program and participating in the Queller webinars. U Chicago always has these like weird questions. We are familiar with green-eyed envy, blue, caught purple-handed, tickled orange. I don't know, they always have like weird questions. I guess that's their thing. I guess that's their thing. They like this stuff. Pluto doesn't quite fit in. who's an unofficial member. I'd probably put the Italian club because in my case, I really like the Italian food, but I mean, I was Jewish, not Italian, and Russian speaking and Russian, but I used to always go to the Italian club for the food. Like they always had like good lasagnas and pastas. So I guess I'm the unofficial member. Um, these are funny. With that being said, thank you so much. What I also want to do is just take everybody off mute for a moment so that we can give Jessica, who is a aspiring physician in a dual degree program, a huge thank you as well. So everybody unmute, please. We're gonna count to 3. We're gonna say thank you. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Jessica. Thank
It was
you.
my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, everybody. Anyone? Can anyone unmute? Ask all to unmute. Did I do it? I don't know. I might have not even pushed it. Did I do that? I don't know. I might have. Did I? I don't know.
No,
Let's try again. Hold on. Participants. Okay, I think I did it now. Everyone, thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you so much. We learned. We're ready. Thank you. Thank you,
I hope this was
everybody.
very helpful.
I guess everybody wants to
It was
type.
my pleasure.
Thanks. We got a lot out of it. This was super helpful and good luck. Are you still in the library at this hour?
Yeah, I'm in a building now. We're studying for our exams.
Oh my God,
It's
do
like,
you
it's like a
see
little
that?
group of
They're
us.
studying.
Yeah.
See that? All right, everyone. Jessica is studying for her exams, so we're good. Thanks, Jessica. All right, I'm gonna message
Thank
you
you
right
for
now.
having me. Yep. All right. Bye. Good night, everyone.
Bye.